So I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a real pleasure for me. It's kind of a mixture of my community and my students here. So this is a fun interaction that I'm looking forward to. I've had the pleasure of teaching an entrepreneurship class at Cornell for the past 3.5 weeks. It's a block class, so it goes bam. It's like over in a second. And so a lot of things that we do with the, like with our accelerators and our entry school programs and so forth, we're typically done over 7 or 10 week time period. We did it 3.5, so it was a blitz. But I want to introduce our judges here and thank them for what they'll be doing. You guys already know Jay. Jay is just one of those unbelievable community builders for the ecosystem. He does great work. He's my co-instructor for venture school. He teaches the student program at the University of Iowa. Just a great resource. I love this guy. We've got Liz Hubing too. This is Liz's space here. Liz runs the Builders and Backers program. She's an ecosystem builder here for entrepreneurship in Iowa City. She's also the director of Bike Iowa City, so we have this cool dual role that she's carrying. She's one of our amazing networkers within the community. She's a great one to know. Alex Taylor, I've probably known Alex the most. Alex, the director of the Iowa Startup Accelerator, amazing resource, amazing person. He's come up through the entrepreneurship circle. He's been part of some pretty high power startups. Currently owns, he and his wife currently own a dog treat bakery and whoopables. And so he's got firsthand perspective on this whole small business and entrepreneurship perspective. And these are going to be our judges and really have been a massive part of what we built here in the region for an entrepreneurial ecosystem. So I want to thank those guys. Let's give them a hand. And then, of course, we've got our students here that I told them this yesterday. My expectation levels for what would happen, what this class would be about here. I stepped in on day one and I saw the capability of what was about here. And then we got into it a while and then it's like, oh, yeah, these guys are really driving on it. So I'm excited to see what the conclusion is going to look like here. And I'm going to turn the stage over to our entrepreneurship class. So we're going to go order of team numbers. So team 1, F, you're on, and we know how this works.
We're up first.
You guys will have 4 minutes to pitch. It'll be a hard 4 minutes. Then we'll cut it off, and then we'll throw it to the judges for comment.
All right, so we're Patch. I'm Joey. No, thanks. So haven't we all been in a place in a classroom throughout our educational journeys where we're just looking up at the whiteboard, the teacher's scribbling on the board, and we're like, I have no idea what's going on. It's like you just feel so behind and lost, and you just feel like there's nothing you can do. So one of my good friends was always in this situation. Her name was Emma, and she had learning disabilities. So she was always in that situation where she was really smart, but she always fell behind. So that's why we created PET, a fully personalized educational program online in order to get out of this one-size-fits-all high school approach, where all students are put in a box. So we're going to take them out of this box and allow them to have a customizable education. So the opportunity would be reaching K through 12 students and with a personalized education program. So our value proposition would be providing a customizable program for students where they can pick the classes that they want on our online program and being able to like customize their own learning journey. So our business model would be a 3-tier membership program. We start out with the standard membership, which would be $200 a month. And this membership would include your basic services where you can take up to 6 classes at a time, fully customize them to pick whatever classes best fit your learning styles and needs. You'd also have access to tutoring services and also a personal advisor and counselor. With the premium membership, it's a little bit more per month, but you would get access to more one-on-one tutoring and advising. And then the elite membership, you get access to social events, as well as being able to get connected whenever you need, one-on-one tutoring, counseling, whatever you need. And in addition, you would get life coaching and success, or to help you be more successful in your future. So when we were conducting our customer discovery and doing our interviews, we basically came to the consensus after interviewing 35 people that a lot of people were in the same boat as us, and they either felt like they were behind or ahead in their classes. And so we kind of came to the conclusion that our service would be of great benefit to many people, and that a customized education would be a great thing for everyone to be more successful in their schooling journey. And so that's the one thing that sets us apart from all the other online homeschooling options out there, is that we would be able to customize what program or what classes you're taking in order to fit your learning styles best. And so we would do this by going directly to schools and social events, as well as through social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and trying to get spread it through influencers and stuff like that. And ideally, so this is the website design we kind of had. It's just something rough, but we could actually see ourselves eventually going to market with this and trying to sell it. But it would be a little difficult to set up and start. So it would be interesting to see if it's even possible to do this, but we think it's a good idea that it's needed. And so that's it.
So who's your competition?
So we have Excellus Homeschooling and another one called Power. Yeah. So the thing that sets us apart, like I was saying, is just our customizability, because none of them really have any options for that. They just have a set course load that you take and then tutors and stuff like that.
Do you share kind of what you would charge for these services? Do you have any insights on what the cost would be on your end for instructors or content creation?
We have a rough total for that. To create all the content and to get the instructors, we've estimated it would cost about $150,000 the first year to get all the to get syllabus and have first year looking for each teacher's final. And that would cost probably about $50,000 more to create the website and have the infrastructure created for it.
So is this something you're gonna keep doing after this class, or maybe, or what do you think?
We consider it, but we're unsure at this moment because of many complications.
Tell me about why do you think you're the best to run this company? What's your business? What's your background look like?
Well, I have a lot of passion for this because I've experienced this a lot in the schools that I went to, because I just felt either I'd always be behind or ahead, and I had to do the school I went to was certain courses that were already picked out for me, so I couldn't choose. So I would like something like this where I could take exactly what courses I want.
Same for myself. I've gotten to
couple schools, and one of them, everything was pushed to the way top, so they had all the hard curriculum classes. Myself, I found it a little bit more challenging to catch up and get for everyone else. And for myself, I had a lot of difficulties in high school in particular. My anxiety started flaring up around that time, so I was unable to do a lot of regular courses that were required of me. And even my sister had the opposite, was cheap out of the opposite. But she couldn't get into any of the courses she wanted to get into because she didn't go into high school the honors program, so they wouldn't let her do anything, take any of the courses she wanted to. Because at my school, non-honor students only had the one option of course per thing. Honor students had about 3 options each. She wanted to be able to have more options, but she wasn't allowed to. I feel like this would be something that would have proved helpful. So there's something called
One more question.
During your customer discovery, did you get any insights on like whether people learn better online in this environment or like in the classroom? I know different learning abilities, they prefer one over the other. Obviously, you're focusing on online, but I'm curious if you got any insights on that.
Yeah, a lot of them were saying that, like, they like the in-person ability, and so like, we would like to like, if we actually did this, we would want to try to see like, if we could do in-person classes, but the issue is like, online would just be a lot easier to reach those types of people, unless you create like your own school or something like that.
Great job, guys. Thanks for your time. Next is going to be Fix Me Auto. We're going to give the judges just a minute here, so Fix Me Auto, you guys can start coming on here. Yeah. All right, here we go. Fix Me Auto.
Good morning. We are Fix Me Auto. We originally started this based on one specific problem. Imagine you're sending your 18-year-old daughter off to college for the very first time, driving the 12-hour drive from Colorado all the way to Iowa, and her car breaks down somewhere right along, who knows where, Nebraska, right? All you can see everywhere is the cornfields and a couple of cows. We're hoping at this point that, they're calling, they're hoping that they can figure out what's wrong, find a towing company, figure out how to get their car fixed, et cetera, et cetera. But by the time you get to the nearest auto shop, all the above, there's probably 10 phone calls you've had. Hey dad, I can't figure out what's wrong. They said it's gonna cost this much. I can't figure out what the problem is, et cetera, et cetera. So our goal is making car service easy to access for all through our car scheduling and diagnostics. We're targeting specifically these young adults. We're targeting specifically women and teens that find car service unapproachable, harder to navigate and feel kind of taken advantage of in the market specifically. We're looking at creating an app or an online portal basically for these people to reach us. So this would be kind of a prototype as for what we would be looking at. We're shooting at saving time, saving money, and making this just easier all in general. So you would be able to go onto our app. You're going to click on either My Car for all past services you've had, and connect to a shop to be able to find the closest one to you and market prices for different things that are going on. Our goal is to have technicians waiting for live chats that you can reach through either video call or instant message. And through that, you'll be able to call or show them pictures and take this diagnostic quiz and figure out, hey, by the time you're at the shop, you've got a market price for what they believe is wrong, on top of feeling like you have some sort of understanding of what's going on without going in there completely blind and having to call, hey dad, they said, So in comparison to what's already out on the market, we've kind of looked a little bit at both KBB or Auto Trader, because they're both owned by the same industry, and then car movers. So as this goes, they KBB or Auto Trader, in order to sell their product or sell your product on their website, You're looking at a basic ad of $25, $50, or $90 to go up to their premium. Car Gurus is just a flat rate of $4.95 a month. When you're looking at what we're providing, we're not only completely different, as in we're not selling cars, we're not, in the auto industry as far as can you find the closest Honda CRV. We're looking at scheduling and pricing all the way up to our premium service, which would be $19.99 for exclusive marketing and all services as far as being able to find your live chats. You're going to be able to message these people on command, and you're going to be able to see all of our pricing. It kind of shifted everything a little bit, but our main people that we're trying to reach again are those young car owners with no plan. So we found that in general, the market for teen drivers is about 8.3 million drivers all across the United States. They're 3 times more likely to be in a fatal accident or an accident in general. So we're not just looking at registered car owners, we're looking at the ones that are young and have no plan when they're coming to fix their cars. As far as our customer discovery goes, we talked to about 35 people. We were shooting for what's your past experience with the auto industry? What's your go-to plan if you need to fix your car? How comfortable do you feel? In general, we found that, young adults, especially women and people that have no experience in the auto industry, don't find it as approachable as it should be. You shouldn't have to walk in and feel like you have no idea what's going on and wonder if you're being taken advantage of. And as far as that goes, our competitors, again, Fix Me, KBB, and Auto Trader, this is our advantage. We are completely different. We're not selling cars. We're not doing any of that. We're an easy resource for everybody else. And that's what makes us Fix Me Auto.
Awesome.
Judges? How did you come up with the pricing?
So we originally, this kind of goes back to where we started as a plan. We were originally a marketing tool actually for other auto shops. So we were going to be kind of a two-sided market in the sense that we were going to be advertising to the young adults and tech savvy, car maintenance people. And we were going to be advertising for these auto shops so that they could get their prices and their services across to other people. So it was just going to be a hub for all of that. We then kind of found that the two-sided industry was getting a little bit complicated, and figuring out how are we going to pay for all of this was getting kind of hazy. So we kind of took a stream, or took a wire from KBB and found that they have a stock price for what they do advertising wise. And so we kind of took that originally and said, through our customer discovery and all that stuff, would you pay, $9.99 a month for, being able to call someone on demand if you need this? And on top of it, we're going to have, general price comparison, and we're going to keep all of your car service data all in one place. So when you go in, you can say, hey, I've had this done in the past, this done in the past, this done in the past. And it's easy to show just your car person, hey, this is what I've got. And what we found was like, yeah, I don't know if I would pay it because, I'm a broke college kid, but I know my mom would. I know my mom would say, hey, if she's going to travel this far within this month, I would love to just have this assurance for her. So that's kind of where we pulled that. We hope that it's a little bit above what we hoped, but it's kind of based off of our 2-year startup plan of like $44,000. So hoping we can recover some of that money.
Continuing on with us after this class, or?
Her continuous feedback, I think, through the whole class was that we needed to make it more simple, start simple and kind of grow. And so I think if we were to continue on with where we were going, I think I would cut half of it, simplify it, go back to kind of square one and re-tighten the knots, if that makes any sense. See where we could go without making it 100 different ideas combined into one.
I think this is definitely a problem. Like if I got in any kind of car trouble, I would have no idea what to do. But I'm a little bit confused about the solution. Maybe it's a little bit fast on that, but so your solution is an app that would connect me to people that can come to me and fix my car, or it would tell me how to fix.
It would tell you not either. It would be more of you would take our diagnostic quiz, you'd be able to go through and say, hey, my car is leaking X colored liquid from this side of my car, and it would go in and say, hey, maybe this is your power steering pump. My best guess is power steering pump, and price match for them, or market price for this would be XYZ, and you'd be able to take it in and say, hey, this is what I believe is wrong with it, this is what the market price is. And or you'd have our live chat where if you went in and said, hey, something's wrong with my car, and they gave you this whole spiel about you need to fix this, this, and this. You could have someone on the phone immediately that's a technician that would be able to say, hey, no, that's kind of, that's kind of excessive. This is all you really need to get you back on the road. Or this is the market price.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
All
more empowerment and education.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great job. Thank you. Let's see. Three. Yeah, definitely. All right.
So we are Level Up. I'm Thomas.
I'm Sam.
I'm Laura.
I'm all
So I just have a question. Who has seen someone with a disability at the gym before? Anyone? So a couple, so actually there's 61 million people with a disability who live in the US. That's a pretty big statistic. So you think there'd be more in the gyms. But why aren't they? Because the equipment that's not accessible for them, they don't fit in. So our mission is to create a more inclusive environment for the disabled community by providing accessible equipment in the gym. So the problem, as I stated before, is people often struggle to have access to workout equipment, and it leads to poor mental health because they can't exercise like they used to be able to. And then, so we want to create accessible gym equipment and sell it to these gyms, local gyms, franchise gyms like Planet Fitness, iGym. Yeah.
So this is our customer discovery. So we talked to 32 people. So mainly people with disabilities, students, personal trainers, physician workers. We try to get the broad version of what people think people with disabilities need in the gym. If they wouldn't focus on leg, arms. What's the main parts what we need. So there's like a better matrix. So these are not direct competitors. We're like a distributor. We're sending stuff to other gyms, like equipment to other gyms. So we're just comparing prices, how much we should sell, how much the certain equipment works. So revenue models, what we do, equipment sales, equipment repairs, merchandise, shirts, water bottles, stickers. We also do leasing. Well, we try to do leasing so to make sure what gyms really like and send
And so the gyms don't have to take on a huge investment because the equipment can be extremely expensive. So if they like the equipment, that they can buy it, but just to start making leaks, which I think is it's pretty awesome.
So financial plan, so this is our startup, how to start a business, but it came up to $61,200.
Yeah, so our idea isn't bold or creative like some of the other ideas, but we realize it's very profitable and it can help a lot of people, which is really our mission. We want to change the world for the better. We think this is how we can do that.
So we are leveled up. There's no limitations for anyone, and thank you for coming in.
Yeah, a prototype of are you specializing in any particular disability to get out of the gate? Because the disability market's pretty big and there are a lot of disabilities. How do you propose to enter the market?
So this is basically the prototype right here. You never see no type of gym has specific workout, So we try to make something specific workout. So like, let's say an example, you never see someone with a wheelchair. So like, you never see so usually it used to be like doing it the whole time. But this specifically, you never see someone have like a hold their legs so they can be nowhere. So this is our first prototype. And another prototype is like benching. So there's always a bench. What if there's like a bench for wheelchairs? So just two legs went back, push them down like a lay down and like the bench. So there are two holders holding their wheelchair. I said benching, so they are supported.
So wheelchair accessibility is your first.
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure that all out. We've only been out in this for like 3.5 weeks, so there's a lot of things.
So how are you different than your competitors? I know that you outlined a few, like, what are they offering?
Yeah, so our competitors are mainly just the normal gym equipment, not the accessible. So we're kind of like in a different market almost, but they're still competing. So I think that's a big competitive advantage that we're not really direct competitors with them with something else. And we think we can bring a lot more customers to these gyms because it's a whole new niche that just doesn't exist at these gyms.
So, go ahead.
Well, I was just curious, like, you know, everyone has this equipment already, but there be a way to like change their equipment to make it more accessible? Like, I'm curious, like, did you talk to gym owners about, like, would you want to buy completely new equipment, make it more accessible?
Right, so I mean, yeah, I mean, it was mostly just new equipment. We had our leasing idea, so it's more affordable. If it works, they can keep the equipment, buy it, or if it doesn't, they can. And lease.
Okay, but since there's not really equipment that's designed for people in wheelchairs, what are they doing now? To make these exercises?
Right, yeah, they just, most people with disabilities just don't really exercise, you know, just because they just don't fit in the gym, you know. Which is a huge challenge, and we think that it needs to be changed, so.
So like from my experience, I went to like a high school and I just saw people with disabilities separate from people who went to the gym. And they always keep it separate from different timelines. So if you create equipment for them, you can be together. That's like kind of what kids are.
Yeah, it's kind of a more inclusive environment.
And then, how do you reach your customers?
Yeah, we were planning on just going to gyms and, you know, telling us who we are, and if they're interested, and I think they can gain a lot of value in adding this equipment, you know.
And there'll be a social media, commercials, websites, and trying to mainly this with social medias, just in other areas, and we just reach people and keep people.
All right, thank you. Good job. One. All right, let's bring it up. Well,
We're Cornell, and I'm Ethan.
I'm Brenna.
Before we tell you our story, by show of hands, how many of you guys have experienced stress or anxiety? A lot of hands. Now, how many times have you were told this to combat that is quite a bit? This is so frustrating here in that state because it doesn't help, because we rarely train ourselves to maintain focus and undergo that pressure. And this is so true for athletes. We are at Flow Health, and we help athletes maximize their performance by training them how to undergo high intense cases of stress and anxiety while they practice the physical. The services we offer would be workshops, group sessions, and individual sessions led by our instructor. Athletes make. And it's best to tell you guys to differentiate our customers and who we're gonna benefit. Our customers are gonna be high schools and sports clinics. And who we're gonna benefit are athletes, particularly younger athletes, because they don't have the resources.
All right, so through our customer discovery, we actually found that many athletes have never had a mindfulness or like flow state training ever implemented through their sports. And not only that, but they also experienced a situation within their sport that caused a mental health issue outside of the sport. So it's detrimentally affecting their mental health. And then we also have our coaches who agreed that, like, the majority of our coaches agreed that Flow Health would be the type of program that they could see being implemented within their gyms and teams. All right, so first we would like to promote Flow Health through direct sales. This is going to be a company representative, and they are going to either call or travel to like various high schools, like to these sports teams, high school sports teams. And they're going to be giving them our pitch and letting them know what Flow Health is all about. And then we would also like to have a strong social media presence through digital marketing, could also maybe get like an athlete's endorsement or something like that. And then our third idea is just like having merchandise that we can either offer or we can sell it. And then, of course, we also have our keep and grow. And so we would plan to keep them with something like a loyalty card and grow with something like a referral bonus. All right, management team, we have the sports psychologist, and that's going to be the instructor, and they're going to go around to determine like who they're going to go around and present our pitch essentially. And then we have our marketing rep, they travel to high schools and pitch, and direct sales, who are financial planners, direct sales, and travel accommodations. Competitive analysis tailored and marketed to young athletes, whereas our competitors are already successful big ticket athletes. Okay, so in conclusion, through our research, we have concluded that there is a big enough mental health issue within the sports industry that Flow Health could be a program that we do think could be as successful.
Flo, I didn't see how are you making, I didn't see your financial model. How are you gonna charge? What's the fee for this?
Yeah, so we're gonna do like a session package type deal. And so for the workshops and group sessions, those are most likely gonna be sold to their main customers as high schools and sports clinics. The individual sessions, the athletes feel like they want to pursue, we'll still, and then we'll do individual sessions for them. And we'll do like a bundle or like a single session type deal, and we're gonna keep it. Our prices the same, like relatively cheaper, we'll do the same to our competitors, which is roughly around $120 all the way up to $400+.
This is gonna be in-person only workshops, coaching sessions. You're not like doing anything virtually.
Yeah, nothing virtual.
Not as of now, but our initial plan is just to have these sports instructors go to the like sports teams and give them our pitch, tell them what they can do for them. And basically they teach like meditation, mindfulness, breathing exercises, things like that that help you access your flow state of mind.
And like later on in the future, we'll work towards like our own like building wise, so we could host our own sessions, so we don't have to go to so that's one.
You're gonna keep going with this after class?
Yeah, I think so. The market is pretty big. Just recently they're putting like a shining light on mental performance for like sports, like colleges and professional like teams are just now diving into this. So,
And then to get people to actually buy these services, are you gonna bring on therapists, coaches?
yeah, so that'll be our instructor. They're gonna have like the skillful trade. Because our competitors are mental performance coaches and sports psychologists. So it's but they're not very marketing.
It's a bit strange because our competitors are these sports psychologists and mental performance coaches, but our goal is to our instructor, we would like to hire one of these sports psychologists or mental health coaches. And essentially, then we would go into depth and like get them to specialize in these specific flow state training, mindfulness training. So that was kind of, yeah.
They're mainly tailored to like the college athletes and professionals, and not really like marketing to the younger crowd, which is what we're aiming towards.
Hey, great job, guys. So next is culture view. All right, here's culture view.
Good morning, everyone. We are Culture here. So to start off, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. When I was younger, I took a Spanish course that was supposed to explore everywhere in South America. And being Colombian, I was really excited to explore Colombia. But when we got to that unit, it was very stereotyped, and the general consensus that everyone got is that Colombia produces coffee. A lot of my teachers didn't have experience in it besides their one semester abroad in Spain. So they didn't really have a lot to go off of. I thought it was maybe just my teacher, but turns out it is a problem that a lot of students end up facing, just because teachers don't have the background knowledge on certain cultures, so they will spread miscommunication and create general stereotypes, which can create a negative view on culture itself. Which is why we at Culture Cube want to create a hands-on learning experience that talks about diversity, global diversity, and introduces it in a fun way that engages students and becomes a new resource for teachers and teachers. So students will be getting a hands-on experience and a new way to learn, and teachers will be getting a new resource to help them educate about a new topic that they don't have a lot of information on.
So what exactly is featured in the Culture Cube? Well, here's an example of a Columbia box, and it has elements that's going to make the classroom environment interactive, fun, and memorable. So we have things such as treats, snacks, recipes, crafts, music. My parents are from Sierra Leone, so I'm currently making a Sierra Leone Culture Cube, and thankfully we have an in-person example box.
Yeah, so I'm Jamaican, I'm Sydney, and I created this Jamaican Culture Cube. It has some fun snacks, some crafts, as well as some music to enjoy. And that's one. Yeah, it's Bob Marley, and it's all about like really enjoying the culture and like really immersing in it with these interactive crafts and snacks and music. I think in the box also has a QR code that will lead you to the website.
Yeah, so that's a cool thing about the box. We want the engagement to go outside of the classroom. And so here on our website, you'll be able to learn more, engage more in depth with that culture. And we also want to have a feature in the future that kids can interact with a virtual game where they can engage more with that culture.
Taking a look at the market size, the mystery box kind of subscriber box market is really large, and it's been growing since 2017 each year. And all the research studies I've been looking at says it's expected to keep growing each year. So we think we've got good potential there. Looking at our business model, the text format is really a PowerPoint, but we've got three kind of ways we want to make sales. First, through our single sales of boxes, through monthly subscriptions, and then also merchandise. And the merchandise is kind of a side. It's not the main focus. And that will all be through our online store. Our going to market strategy, kind of getting our first customers. The two main things we want to do is influencers and unboxing videos on like YouTube and social media, and also getting featured on like teacher resource blogs and kind of getting some articles out there, as well as just general ads as well. Looking at our competitors, we realized that we are more expensive than a lot of our competitors, but we also have more items in the Culture Cube than a lot of our competitors, and the interactive features that the website allows appeal to all age groups as opposed to just one grade level or something. Based off of our research of kind of our startup costs, this is what we think is realistic for our first few years of growth, but yeah. And lastly, we ask you to join us. We've got our QR code right here. You can scan that, head to our website to see some of our examples and such. So.
Tell me a little bit about your customer discovery.
Yeah, that's actually, we kind of anticipated as a question. So we interviewed 37 people, a mix between students and teachers. That was both college professors and high school. And I think we had a couple elementary school teachers in there as well. And primarily, we got three big takeaways. One, people want authentic and real. They didn't want something with a made in China label on it. Two, they wanted hands-on, some sort of activity in the box as well. And lastly, from a lot of students, we had heard that they had also had this effective experience about learning about other cultures in the class.
So when you think about your customer segment, target market, you're targeting classrooms, individuals, or homeschoolers, or families?
Kind of all of the above. We think it's easiest to initially target teachers because we know that there's that gap, and a lot of teachers expressed a lot of interest in this. But that's part of the reason why there's also the single sales available or the monthly subscription, depending on what interest level people would have.
And to add to that, also when we're targeting schools and things like that, we think this kind of product would be very helpful for people who live in communities that aren't very diverse, where they everyone kind of looks like them. And so kind of getting products like that into the classroom and basically broadening people's horizons.
What's your measure of success?
Are you talking financially or like customer
How do you
outreach?
know that the customer's is successful?
I guess one thing that we could do, this is just thinking aloud, is that kind of conducting surveys and being like, hey, did you find this was valuable? Specifically, maybe a teacher survey if they thought it was valuable in the classroom, or more from the students getting that kind of feedback.
I don't know about the other vendors, but I'd love to see the MVP upload.
Sure, what do you think?
Jay's got some first-hand knowledge on this concept. You gotta go see him.
And it's a person.
I love this thing. I feel like I would have really enjoyed this in school.
Yeah, we thought it was, yeah, like I said, very beneficial because one of the people, for example, I interviewed, his name is Saad from Egypt. So where he lived out in Egypt, he described it as being like very xenophobic, like people, the community didn't really care about learning about other cultures and things like that. So the sweet spot for our customer base would be a community that is not very diverse, but still willing to learn and accepting and embracing other cultures.
And apologies for the weird formatting of the text. It downloaded weird from Google Slides and PowerPoint.
That's what I mean. All right. Good job.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also we have a QR code.
Yes, that is here for anyone.
Thank you.
Good place.
All right, soccer holics.
Okay, I'm AJ.
Goro.
I'm Eddie, and we are Soccerholics. We are a soccer-based retail store in Iowa.
I'll do some of the photos of us playing our sport.
So I've been playing soccer since I was 5 years old, and I never really had the opportunity to buy myself a good pair of cleats that were worn by my favorite professional soccer players. And stores like Dick's and Shields never had good quality cleats and only offered them in a low scale. And so soccer players like myself are having to deal with minimal availability of soccer products in the state of Iowa. So our retail store will have the opportunity to provide more for our target market. So we segmented to three groups, which are adults, youth, and kids. So for adults will be college students and professional athletes. For youth will be high school and middle school athletes, and for kids will be elementary. So we had 35 interviewees,
And upon all those, they identified the same problem and same experience. And which were the minimal availability of soccer products in Iowa. So the advantage of shopping in store is that they like to wear the cleats and have a feel of them rather than online, just looking at an image. So with the value proposition, our retail will help purchase products of the best material, which is also fashionable, worn by supreme athletes. And we will also be available to provide best service platforms and products.
So our planned entry price structure is premium pricing, where we'll be selling our products at a higher price than our competitors. Our go-to-market plan is purchase from manufacturers like Nike and Adidas, and then sell through our retail store. When it comes down to market sizing, our market is expected to grow at a rate of 18.3% over the next 5 years, and it is expected to be valued at $3,712.7 million by 2027. The average purchase price for our product will be $175. We have a higher price point, as I said, because our production will be better than our competitors like Dick's and Shields.
Competitive analysis, we believe that we have the advantage because our prices, yeah, they might be high, Shields is low, and Dick's is medium, but our quality is high. The other two competitive stores are low. Then you have the reduction for returns. We're going to give you a reduction for it, of course, but the other two competitors don't. So that's how we would, take advantage.
Financial projections, our startup cost is $99,700 and our revenue total is $157,500. So join us in helping us kickstart this business and provide more for the soccer community.
So you're marketing to youth, adults, and how? Just trying to think. I have 4 kids that play soccer, so I'm trying to think. Are you marketing to the parents? Are you marketing to the coaches? Or are you marketing to the directly to the soccer players?
So for kids, obviously there will be parents, and then for adults, it will be college players and pro players. For youth, it would be high school players and middle school age kids. So for them, I guess we've just marketed to the players. But for kids, it would be obviously parents.
We just want to give more options to the player. So mainly, I would say the directions to the player, so they have an idea of where they want to go to get the best info, where to perform to the best of their ability.
Your customer discovery interviews, did you get any insight on like how much people are already paying for like soccer cleats or other materials? Is your price point in line with what they would be willing to pay, or?
Okay, definitely, it is in line with what they'll be wanting to pay, and they identify the same problem that there are soccer products in Iowa, so they mostly shop online. But shopping online, like they would still prefer to shop in store rather than online because they want to see the products like physically rather than virtual.
If they try to get the best product as they can find, so therefore you have to. That's why most people have to go on. They do still prefer in person. It's stores.
So with your product, so it's soccer cleats, it's jerseys. It's kind of like the cleats, not soccer cleats. I got confused on. They were worn by elite athletes, so that it actually works.
They will start mostly be paid alongside other stock products at a minimum rate.
And then talk about like Dick's and Shields. Are there no independent soccer teams in Iowa or
No.
I don't. I grew up in Des Moines and they're point out.
I am from Des Moines, and I think they shut down.
What, do you know why they shut down?
I'm not sure.
Do you have an idea of where you would target for an initial store, like your?
An initial store, where it would be. I would say it would be in Des Moines because that's the capital. and we have more, local clubs there. So I think compared to when the store was open back in 2012, I think the market has grown considerably in terms of, local clubs and, professional clubs as well.
You look at rent, how much space, is the cost of a physical building?
Looking at the start cost, it was something like, 20,000, I think.
Great job, guys. I'm really proud of all you teams presenting here. It's in front of a crowd for the first time. Isn't always the most calming thing. I know, I was jitters first time I ever got up. That did good. Congratulations for doing as well as you did. And we're gonna take the judges. We need to duck out a little bit, do some scoring. Anybody?
I was just wondering, Carol, could you quickly introduce yourself and your program real quick to everybody here?
My name is Carol People. I'm the business liaison for Workplace Learning Connection for Division of Kirkwood Community College. And we work with middle school students with speaker events. We do like a STEAM institute for middle school. Then I also work with high school students with job shadowing. We do internships. And again, we do speaker events for high school students as well, not students. So we have a small group of high school students here today that are interested in entrepreneurship. I believe there's about 10 of us, or 9 to be exact. So we appreciate that being a part of this opportunity. College students here today, they did an amazing job. I was really impressed. So super kudos to you guys. Thank you for letting us be here.
Got judges to retreat for a little bit. Aaron and Mark, maybe you guys want to talk a little bit about your programs and what we have going on in space here.
Yeah. But I do want to get a photo of all of you, high school and college students, kind of up front here before you go into that room after the judges. So just so everyone knows what's coming. Welcome to the space. My name is Erin Potabom. I'm the Director of Operations for ICAD, which is our Johnson County Local Economic Development Organization. Part of our local economic development is entrepreneurship. So we have this co-working space, which is merged. We have 16 offices downstairs, and then we've got co-working up here. So we have about 50% entrepreneurs, 50% remote workers. If you guys are in the Iowa City area and you need a space to work, come in and join us. We'd love to have you. We always have free coffee and lots of camaraderie and good stuff going on. And our team is always available to answer questions. So if you want to pursue any of these business ideas, let us know. We're happy to help you. And since he's not here, if you guys don't know, Scott's been a total rock star. Has been part of success for a lot of companies for a lot of years. So you're very fortunate to have him. Anybody have any questions for me while I'm standing up here? No? Everybody's got their fill of hot chocolate, coffee, donuts? Yeah.
I'm gonna seem like a hotspot for finding school internships and all that kind of stuff. Like if everybody's kind of hanging out on his birthday.
It can be. Typically, so we actually have an Ignite ICR program where we like to refer people for internships. However, students, we can give you a card and you can choose, you can get you a so there is lots of good stuff that happens here. And a lot of it just happens organically being in the space. So it's a lot of fun. This is Mark Butland. He is our director of the EdTech Collaborative. I'll let you take the floor for a minute and then we're going to do a photo.
So what Erin said is so true. When you're ready to be an entrepreneur or you're ready to kind of have an office place, this is where the cool kids hang out. Like, there's actually beer in the fridge. This is the best place ever to work in the city. So, and Erin, she's sort of over there. She keeps things in order and makes me put my cup in the dishwasher and kind of keeps it in tight. But it's a great place to be. So the Iowa EdTech Collaborative is a statewide initiative, and the only state in the country that has our act together enough to span the whole state, to connect ideas like several of the ones we heard here today with all the public schools, K-12 and higher education. No other state can do that. And that's a real powerful advantage that we have here with the Iowa Ed Tech Collaborative. So we're especially interested in startup ideas in ed tech. And when that MVP is at our point where you're ready to get it in front of some people, we like to jump in and help in that way. Related to that, I was a dean at Kirkwood in Iowa City right when the pandemic hit. And I want you guys to imagine this. You got all these faculty coming to your office when you're kind of like the principal on campus, right? And they're all looking at you like, I've been avoiding teaching online. Are you kidding me? Now I have to teach online? Right? You've got this whole stack of people. Now, that's not saying that all faculty were that way, but trust me, there were a lot who just were not ready to make that transition. And then over here on my computer, I've got 50 emails a day coming in from bright people like you who have good solutions. And I was the person who was supposed to connect the dots. Guess how much time I had to look at those emails? Yeah, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that, and that speaks to an issue that I think is of interest to entrepreneurship. And that is there's friction in the marketplace. When you find friction, you see opportunity, right? Am I right about that? Yeah. And so how do we connect the dots between the good ideas in ed tech and the people who are desperate for solutions to that? So the Iowa Ed Tech Collaborative is doing a new initiative we call the Classroom of the Future Network. The idea here is when we get a good product and we demo it in a classroom, let's map that out in 3D and let's put it out there in the Eduverse and let everyone else see it. That way everyone gets a chance to see a demo that otherwise would only happen by word of mouth, right? And then that lets someone like me, who's an administrator in a college, and I have faculty who know what they need, but have no idea where to begin the search. It gives me a place to go that's organized. That's one of the things we're working on here in Iowa. Iowa's the first to be able to create the Classroom of the Future network. You can tell I'm kind of excited about it, right? And we're going to be pitching the idea here on November 3rd to the Iowa Governor's Council on Innovation. We have partnerships and we're already building it out. We have 6 classrooms of the future already on the books, and it's just sort of growing quickly. So it's one of the things that we're doing. If you're interested in more about the Iowa Ed Tech Collaborative, we're always looking for collaborators. And I have my card with me, so you can see me in the back if you want to know more. Any questions about the Iowa Ed Tech Collaborative?
So the classroom, I know more will be explained during the pitch, but is the classroom of the future, like combining things with virtual aspects and.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we have a classroom downstairs, for example, that we've built out. And once you have the classroom built out, then you scan it in 3D. And then you bring in whatever those artifacts are so that they're manipulatable as an avatar. And then in each of the classrooms of the future, we put in a virtual portal. And so once you're in that classroom here or at any school district, and you put on the headset, now your avatar can move right through that portal and right into the lobby for the Classroom of the Future network. And in that lobby, just like all the games that you play, right? You suddenly, there you are. And it's organized by, go this direction if you're interested in K-12. Go this way if you're looking for higher ed. Go over here if you're a teacher looking for continuing education units. Down this hallway is all the cool stuff that you never even heard of, but you want to see what it looks like, right? And so if you're a teacher and you want to bomb your class into this 3D space where they're working on a cadaver, there is such a thing, by the way, a virtual 3D cadaver, right? Very expensive. Can rural Iowa afford it? Probably not. Can Iowa City? You betcha. So the rural Iowa teacher and students go through the portal, go to the Iowa City Classroom of the Future, and now they get to share that resource. So that's kind of what it is.
That's super cool.
Yeah. It's a great answer for us because, you know, rural Iowa, if we're not careful, they get left behind in digital and technology stuff. So it's going to be a big win, I think, for them. The leader in the world in creating digital twin campuses is an Iowa-based company. They're called Victory XR, And so Stanford Business School, they created a digital twin. So if you're in Stanford Business School and you don't want to go to class, or there's a, I don't know, pandemic, your little avatar can go and sit in class and study, and you interact with everyone else, right? And so other universities, ASU is built the same. That is an Iowa company, and they're our partner. So it's gonna go to big places, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, thanks for the question. Yeah.
July 1, 2021, right?
So here's the fun story. Have you heard of Martin Rorta? Do you know of ACT?
Yeah.
Okay. So former CEO of ACT works here. I told you the cool kids hang out here. He was on the bench next to me over there. And I said, hey, let's go get a beer. This was September of last year. And we're having a beer. And he told me the story about how they make, where he's from in Denmark, there was this guy who always talked about the home of the future and the office of the future. And I said, wow, wouldn't it be neat if we had like a classroom of the future thing? And he was like, yeah, it would. He and I have been partnering on that idea ever since. So a little over a year. Appreciate it. Okay.
I think we're ready. So I want to start off by saying you all did a fantastic job. Give yourselves a round of applause.
I'll just echo what Dave said. We're really impressed by all of your presentations today and what you have accomplished in 3 weeks. I feel like not many people could do that. So kudos to all of you for doing that. I'm going to just announce the Best Pitch Award. And this team really blew us away with a concept and product that really seems to be solving a problem that isn't being solved right now. And they were really creative in the product that they put together. It's something that I would really wish I could have used when I was younger. And I think it's going to really help students in exploring different cultures across the world. So Culture Cube, you won last week. You not only explore your product box, but your educational offerings that you could do with your technology, kind of taking people and transporting them into a different culture. So I really hope you move forward with this idea, and I love what you put together. So congrats.
Thank you.
Managing director of the Iowa Startup Accelerator, if you think Shark Tank, I see pitches all week long, all the time. And there are many businesses out there that come into us for venture funding, and their pitches are for crap. And it happens, and I coach them and help them along. Pitches I saw today, you were inclusive of a lot of stuff that some of the pitches I see from professionals didn't have. Now, if I had the observation that you learned, and it's evident, customer discovery is premium. Your customers tell you what you're going to be building. They go in with a preconceived idea, but after you speak to customers, you may change and pivot that idea. And there are a lot of startups that don't listen to the customers. And I thought you guys did a terrific job. So, nicely done.
I just want to point out here too that, after you move on past this ideation stage, there are resources and things to help. Liz kind of represents kind of ground floor with builders and backers program. Jay and I are kind of that mid-tier with the venture school program. And Alex would be that advanced level, right to market and pitch to investors. So like we've got this ecosystem that's kind of there to support you. And then we've got great resources like Paul Heath with the Small Business Development Center over here. This guy's been helping people get to market and figure things out with resources, financing, all sorts of things. So just know that there's a lot out there if you choose to go on, or if you initiate a new idea of some sort.
Yeah, I was going to kind of echo that. We don't disappear after today. We're all available. We all want to help you. So if you want any of our contact information, Scott can get you that.